Alright, so these are the second pair of Oraimo earphones that I've ever bought. The first ones that I bought are called the Oraimo Reef. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the FreePods 4, but some of the things I'll be talking about will be based on my experience after using this one as well, so that we get to know some of the differences and how this one is an improvement over this one. Alright, so to begin, I'm going to be talking about the earphones themselves first, because I know that that's why most of you are watching this video. Then later on, I'll be talking about the case, and then I'll talk about the sound app that you use to control the earphones if you want. Alright, so let's begin. Alright, so one of the main features of the earphones are the listening modes. You have the noise cancellation mode and the transparency mode. Now, the transparency mode is what I enjoy using most because it helps me, understand what is going on in my environment whenever I'm listening to music, so I don't get locked into the music I'm listening to. Like when I'm on the bus, I hear people as they talk as well as my music. When I'm walking on the streets, I hear cars as they pass by because, well, I don't want to get in danger or put myself in danger because I don't know what is happening in my environment. So with the transparency mode, if you activate it, it's like you just put a big hole in the earphones so that you can get to hear what is happening in your environment. I would really recommend people using this mode because, yeah, I feel like it is safer compared to noise cancellation mode, but that's just my opinion. You may try it and not like it. But just because you're using the transparency mode doesn't mean that your music is going to lose quality. So if it's all the doom, doom, doom you're trying to hear, don't worry, you're going to hear that even with transparency mode on. It's just a way for you to hear what is happening in your environment as you listen to music. And the best way to use it is in a noisy environment, because if you use it in a quiet environment, I have noticed that it doesn't really work because everywhere is quiet. So what sounds will the earphones be trying to pick up? There's nothing. But if you go to a very noisy environment, maybe sit where cars are passing by or in a very noisy place where people are just talking, then you're going to notice the difference. But if you switch to noise cancellation mode, it's like you have turned off the world. I know you're going to be hearing some things, as if things are loud enough, you're going to hear them. But I tried using the noise cancellation mode on a bus, and honestly, I put in the earphones so deep into my ears that the only thing I was hearing, in fact, I don't think I was only hearing, I was only feeling the vibration of the bus moving, and my music was crystal clear. Now, do I recommend using the noise cancellation mode? Well, it depends on you, but personally, I don't like it because it makes me feel like there's no air going into my ears. I don't know if you understand what I mean. Like, just cover your ears like this, like press it down and then try to speak. You feel like your voice is being muffled. So it makes me feel that way, and it feels like I'm trapped inside a bottle also. So I normally don't use noise cancellation mode. Sometimes I use like normal mode, which is when you turn off noise cancellation mode and you don't use transparency mode. So the audio is going to be like your normal everyday earphones. But in most cases, in fact, 90% of the time, I am using transparency mode. And I'm only using noise cancellation mode if I feel like the area is too noisy and I want to hear what I am listening to. So to control the earphones whenever you're listening to music, there are black dots on the earphones, and both the left earphone and the right earphone have their own use. So I'll start with the left one before I go to the right one. So for the left one, you're going to be able to use it to control the volume of the songs you're listening to. I don't normally use this, but sometimes when I'm on the bus and maybe it's too tight for me to pick out my phone and reduce the volume, then I just tap this to reduce the volume. You can also use it to switch between the transparency mode and the noise cancellation mode, or to turn off noise cancellation mode. Those are the two things you can do with the left earphones. If you guys want me to create like a tutorial video on how to use the earphones, I'll do that, but everything is on the manual. If you decide to get the earphones for yourself, then you get the manual and all the instructions are there. But like I said, if you want me to create a detailed tutorial on how to do all these things, just let me know. Alright, so that's what you do with the left earphone. So with the right earphone, you can use it to pause or play songs. I think it has most of the functionalities as well. You can also use it to change songs, like you can go to the next song or you can go to the previous song. You can use it to switch to gaming mode. I'm going to talk about gaming mode very soon. And finally, you can use it to answer or reject calls. So I've not used it to reject calls per se. I've only used it to answer calls. And let's talk about phone calls, like making phone calls with these earphones. Now, personally, from my experience using the earphones, yes, you can use them to make phone calls. Compared to these ones, I haven't been able to use these ones to make phone calls because I always get people saying that my voice is too low or I sound too far away. So I stopped using these ones to make phone calls. But with these ones, yeah, the problem is that you have to speak loud. And me, I'm not someone that likes speaking too loud whenever I'm talking, because I feel like if I have to raise my voice, then the conversation doesn't really matter unless I am in a very noisy environment. Then that's where I usually raise my voice. So it's not like you have to shout to make phone calls with these earphones. No, but you have to speak up, because if you don't speak up, your voice is going to be low. Or with these ones, I may be shouting, like speaking as high as I can, but people are not able to hear me. One thing I can say about this one is that I did not buy it at an official Oraimo store. So when I was getting these ones, I complained about the phone call issues with this one, and the guy said maybe I bought a cloned version. So I'm not sure about that, but it works when it comes to listening to music and controlling music. But when it comes to making phone calls, this one doesn't work. But the FreePods 4, they work very well, but you have to speak up loudly. So that is all about phone calls, and let's talk about the gaming mode. Alright, so I've used many Bluetooth earphones in the past, but one thing that I've always noticed is that they are slow when it comes to gaming. Like, while you are playing your games, normally the games I play are Call of Duty, but I stopped playing Call of Duty because my phone started slowing down. So maybe in the future I'll get back to that. But what I experience when I play those games is that as you are shooting, well, the sound of the bullet does not get to your earphones on time. So you may have shot twice before you get to hear the sounds. It will happen with every other game. But with the Oraimo FreePods 4, after you activate gaming mode, it will reduce the time it takes for the sound to go from your phone to the earphones. Now, I've tested it using Vector. It's a game where you just run from someone. And when I deactivated gaming mode, I noticed that the sound was slower. But as I activated gaming mode, it was faster. Not exact, not at the same time the game is happening, but it was a lot faster compared to gaming mode off. Now, would I recommend you using this one when playing games? Well, it depends. If you don't have a phone that comes with a headphone jack, then I would suggest using gaming mode. But if you do, then please just go for your wired earphones, because it's going to instantly transfer the sound from the phone to the earphones. So gaming mode, I would say maybe 90% good. Okay, so you may not be interested in all these modes, all these different listening modes and gaming mode and transparency mode. You are just worried about sound. How good is the sound? Well, in my experience, the sound is very clear. Like, honestly, I don't really know the difference between the sound coming from this and this one. So if it's just sound you are looking for, any of them will be okay for you. But there's a problem with this one, which I'll be talking about soon. But like I said, both of them, they are good. And if it's the doom 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 you want when you're listening to like rap music or any other kind of song, then yeah, both of them will work for you. But there's a problem with this one that I noticed. Whenever I'm listening to music, and you know that some songs, when they are about to end, the volume begins to fade. What these earphones do, which is the Oraimo Reef, is that they will just turn off the sound completely. I don't know if it's a way for them to save batteries or what, but the sound will just turn off, and then when the next song begins, the song doesn't just start. Maybe the first second will fade back in. So if the song starts with like a hard sound, like a hard beat, you're going to miss that beat. It's just going to start from maybe the next one because the sound is coming back up. But with the FreePods 4, I have not experienced that. Even if the song is slowly reducing volume, it keeps the volume, and when the next song starts, it starts from the beginning. I find that annoying from these earphones. So if you don't want that annoyance as well, or if you don't care about it, then fine, you can go and get this one for yourself. This one will be cheaper. But if that thing may annoy you, then I would recommend you go for these ones. Alright, I mentioned battery while I was talking about the sound issue from the Reef, and you may want to know how good the battery is on the FreePods 4. Well, from my experience, very good. I normally don't listen to music anymore like I used to, but there was a day I was traveling, and I traveled for roughly 2 hours, and I listened to music from the beginning of the journey all the way to the last bus stop. And when I checked my phone to see the battery percentage, the left one was on 80% and the right one was on 90%. I don't know why both of them were on different percentages, but eventually they balanced out and they were all at 80%. So from that calculation, I think you're going to get up to 6 hours of music if you are going to be using the earphones without putting them back in the case. Because when you put them back in the case, the case will charge the earphones. And the case can charge the earphones, from my experience of using it for like 2 hours or more. The case can charge the earphones up to 3 times. And whenever the case goes below 50%, the light is going to change from green to, I think, yellow, not orange. I'm thinking orange, but it's yellow, not orange. You can charge the case with a USB-C cable. It comes when you buy it in the box, but it doesn't come with the charger. And I don't like the color of the USB-C cable, but well, it works, so that's that. Charging the case has not taken up to an hour for me. Maybe that's because I don't like letting the battery completely die. So yeah, if you're going to be using it, just know that charging it is essential. Don't always let the battery die. It actually kills batteries. Okay, so I want to talk about comfortability, like how comfortable these earphones are. And the first thing I'm going to say is that after I got the earphones, I found it a bit difficult to listen to music, but I changed the earbuds. You know that when I made the unboxing videos, I showed the earbuds, and by default, they come with the biggest size, but I removed the biggest ones and used the smallest ones. And since then, I enjoyed using the earphones even more. So maybe change the earphones if they feel uncomfortable at first. And another thing is that they are not heavy, so you can just put them on, and you may even forget that you have them on unless you have noise cancellation on. But if you have transparency mode on, sometimes you may forget because you are hearing what is happening in your environment and you don't feel like there's something heavy in your ears. And finally, the earphones, from my experience, have not fallen from my ears ever since I started using them. So if you put them correctly, and no matter how much you shake your head because the music is too good, well, I haven't experienced them falling out from my ears. But in the end, it depends on the type of ears you have. I have averagely small ears, I think. So yeah, you try the different earbuds. If you have really wide ears, then you can use the big ones. But if you have tiny ears or average ears, then maybe the small ones will work for you. So I've said everything I believe I should about the earphones themselves. But if there's anything that I missed and you guys want to know, just let me know in the comments and I'll respond as soon as I can. Alright, so let's talk about the case. So before I review a product, I don't like watching other reviews because I don't want them to influence what I'll be saying. So I try to avoid the reviews as much as I can. Yeah, because I was seeing these earphones for the first time, if I had seen a review of it, then I would have known that to open it, I just need to slide it up. But the day I tried to open it for the first time, I was like trying to open it like this. I almost broke it, but then I just moved it by accident this way and it opened. So yeah, I just wanted to put that in this video. It doesn't really matter. Maybe if I had seen a review, then I would know that this is how you open it. So if you're going to get it for yourself, know that this is how you open it. Do not try to flip it open this way. I mean, I got the knowledge from here. I thought all of them were this way. Anyways, so one of the things that I have to say about this case is that it is very big. Like, putting this thing in your pocket will make it look as if you have a swell in your pocket, or I don't know, it just doesn't feel normal. And that's the only negative thing I have concerning the case. It's a personal thing for me. I don't know if you care about this, but putting this in my pocket doesn't feel very comfortable. It is not flat and it is too bulgy. So that's the only thing I do not like about it. But that's personal. So you may not care about that. So if you don't, well, like I said, the case will charge the earphones up to 3 times if you're using the earphones for long. And I believe that I mentioned that if the battery in the case gets low, then the case will show a yellow light to blink yellow whenever you open it. Because yeah, the case actually charges the earphones whenever you put the earphones inside the case. And if you are charging the earphones, then there's a light here that blinks, and when the battery is full, the light just turns off. It doesn't show like green or yellow or whatever. It just turns off to let you know that the case is full. And the final thing I have to say is that the brand, the Oraimo brand at the top of the case has started to fade because I've been using these earphones for like 1 month now. I should have mentioned that earlier. But yeah, this is not metal, so don't get confused by it. If you see it shiny, just know that it is temporary. Alright, so that's all about the case. Now the next thing I should talk about is the sound app. That is the app that you can use to control the earphones. But I don't think I should do that in this video. I think I'll make a separate review video for it. But just know that the sound app will work with the FreePods 4. The sound app doesn't work with all Oraimo earphones. It doesn't even work with these earphones. These are the Oraimo Reef. So if you want to use these ones, you will not be able to use them with the sound app. So keep that in mind. Alright, so let's talk about price. So I got these earphones for 24,000 Naira at a physical store. That's the same store where I bought the power banks that I've reviewed. So if you want to get the same, you should go to a physical store, an official store as well. That is where I got mine, an official store. But if you don't know an official store, then you can go and get it online. I'll leave a link in the description. You can use my link to get some discount if you want to purchase the earphones. Alright, so now I'm going to end the video by answering the question of who these earphones are recommended for. So I'm going to say the earphones will be recommended for people that are always working with their bags. This is my opinion, because when you put this in your pocket, it doesn't look good, it doesn't feel good. So yeah, for people who have bags or people that own cars, so that you can just keep it in your, what's that place called that you put stuff? Yeah, the side I was trying to call is called the glove compartment. It skipped my mind, but yeah, I asked ChatGPT and it told me. So yeah, if you have a car, you can just put this in your glove box and that's all. But if you don't care about the case, because to me the case is the only negative thing about these earphones, then sure, you can get it for yourself. As long as it doesn't discomfort you while it's in your pocket, then these are a very good pair of earphones and you are going to enjoy using them. Alright, so that's all I have to say concerning the Oraimo FreePods 4. If you have questions concerning the earphones, let me know in the comments and I'll try to respond as soon as I can. Subscribe for more videos like this and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.